I called my wife. No answer. I called again, straight to voicemail. Then a text popped up on my screen. I'm busy. 2 words. Cold. Detached. Final. That's when my gut twisted. I'd seen that message before, not from her, but from someone else, years ago, when my buddy's wife was cheating. It was the same tone. That, don't ask questions, kind of tone. I stared at the screen, thumb hovering over the keyboard. My pulse was pounding, my chest tight. For the first time in years, the house felt silent, too silent. I typed back. Stay with him. Don't come home. And just like that, I hit send. No hesitation. No double take. It was pure instinct, the kind of raw, cold fury that comes when something inside you snaps. You don't really notice when a marriage starts dying. It's quiet. Subtle. Like rot beneath polished wood. The morning she left, she kissed me on the cheek, same as always. Said she had errands, lunch with a friend, then, maybe, some late work. I remember watching her walk out the door, wearing that light blue dress she knew I liked, the one that made her look effortlessly elegant. I smiled. She smiled back. It was so normal, it made the betrayal sting even more later. That afternoon, I came home early from work. I'd finished my project ahead of schedule and thought, why not surprise her? Maybe cook dinner, open a bottle of wine, something spontaneous. But she wasn't home. Her car wasn't in the driveway. At first, I didn't think much of it, maybe she'd gone shopping. But then, hours passed. The sun dipped. The streetlights came on. Still no sign of her. So I called. Once. Twice. 3 times. No answer. Then came that text. I'm busy. That was it. No explanation. No, sorry, I'll call you later. Just those 2 words. I knew something was wrong. You can tell when someone's lying, their rhythm changes. Her laughter had changed weeks ago. It wasn't bright anymore, it was distracted. She'd been on her phone a lot lately too, always smiling at something she wouldn't show me. When I asked, she'd brush it off. Oh, just a meme from work. Client message. Nothing important. But I'd catch her turning the screen away. The glow of the phone lighting up her face at midnight. The quiet taps of her fingers when she thought I was asleep. I wanted to trust her. God, I did. But that trust was already paper thin, 1 text away from burning. After sending that message, stay with him. Don't come home. I sat there for 5 minutes, staring at the screen. Then something in me flipped. I wasn't just angry. I was focused. If she thought I'd sit here crying, she didn't know who she married. I opened my laptop, logged into our shared phone account, I paid the bills, after all. And there it was. A number I didn't recognize, one that appeared every night around 11 p.m. Long calls. Sometimes over an hour. Sometimes just after I fell asleep. I wrote the number down, punched it into a search. Corporate line. Same company she worked for. I scrolled further, the name hit me like a brick. Mike. Her coworker. The guy she said was just a friend. My vision blurred for a second. I clenched my fists until my nails dug into my palms. So it was true. I didn't text her again that night. Didn't call. Didn't beg for answers. Instead, I spent the next day preparing. I called one of my friends, someone who owed me a favor, a private investigator. Quiet, discreet, effective. Told him everything. By evening, he had photos. There she was, sitting at a small outdoor cafe. Mike across from her. They weren't just talking. They were laughing. Touching hands. Sharing drinks from the same glass like a pair of high school lovers. My stomach turned. But I didn't rage. Not yet. I just sat there, staring at the evidence. Proof. Cold and undeniable. And then, something inside me crystallized. I wasn't going to confront her screaming. I wasn't going to cry. No, I was going to make sure she regretted every second she thought she could play me. That night, she came home late. Said she was exhausted from work. Her makeup was fresh. Her hair perfect. I greeted her calmly. Smiled even. Long day? I asked. Yeah, she said, avoiding my eyes. Just a ton of meetings. Meetings. Sure. I poured her a glass of wine, sat beside her on the couch, asked about her day. She talked, half-heartedly, nervously. Her phone kept buzzing on the table. When she went to take a shower, I picked it up. Locked. Face ID required. She'd changed the passcode. That was all I needed to know. I didn't sleep that night. Instead, I spent hours replaying every lie, every fake smile, every love you she'd thrown my way while texting another man. I knew I had to be strategic. I wasn't just going to expose her, I was going to humiliate her in the exact way she'd humiliated me. I remembered something: her company was planning a quarterly retreat. All senior staff, including her friend Mike. 3 days in the countryside, a fancy resort. I smiled to myself. That would be my battlefield. The next day, I called her boss, a contact I'd met once at a company dinner. Told him I was planning to surprise my wife at the retreat with a special anniversary gift. Asked if I could come by one evening, quietly. He was thrilled by the idea. How romantic, he said. If only he knew. Then, I called my PI again. Bring the camera, I said. You're coming with me this weekend. The morning of the retreat, she was glowing, that's the word. Excited, nervous, radiant. She kissed me before leaving. Love you, she said, her voice sugary sweet. I smiled back. I know. She didn't realize the meaning behind it. As soon as her car disappeared down the street, I packed my bag, my laptop, the printed photos, the PI's gear, and something else, a small USB drive loaded with proof. That evening, I drove out to the resort. It was beautiful, candlelit pathways, live music, wine flowing like water. And there she was. Dancing. With him. Not just friendly, close. His hand on her waist. Her face tilted up at him. For a moment, I froze. My chest tightened. My hands trembled. Then I whispered to myself, this ends tonight. I waited until the crowd thinned, until they walked toward the terrace together. Then, I stepped out from the shadows. Hope I'm not interrupting. Her face went white. Mike froze. What are you doing here? She stammered. Just came to surprise my wife, I said, holding up my phone. But looks like someone beat me to it. She tried to speak, but I held up a hand. Save it. You're going to want to sit for this. Then I pressed play on my phone, the video the PI had recorded earlier. Her. Him. Same cafe. Same touch. Same kiss. Gasps rippled through the few employees nearby. Mike's face turned red. She covered her mouth, trembling. I leaned in close and whispered, you could have just told me you were done. But you lied. So now, everyone knows what you really are. Before she could react, I turned on the projector screen behind us, the one meant for the evening slideshow. Plugged in my USB. And there it was. The photos. The texts. The timestamps. Her affair, on full display. You could hear a pin drop. Her boss stood frozen. People whispered. Mike tried to walk away, but I stopped him. Hey, man. You forgot your reputation. Then I smiled, cold, final, and walked off into the night. Behind me, I heard her crying. The sound didn't hurt anymore. It just felt justified. The night I exposed her was the first time in months I finally slept peacefully. No nightmares. No restless turning. Just silence, heavy, absolute silence. But peace doesn't come without an aftershock. When I woke up, my phone was full of messages. Some from mutual friends. Some from her. Please. Can we talk? You didn't have to do that in front of everyone. I made a mistake. Please come home. Home. That word had lost its meaning the moment she chose him. By the time I got to work, everyone already knew. Someone had recorded the entire scene at the retreat and uploaded it online. It spread like wildfire, office affair exposed by husband, catchy enough to go viral in corporate circles. She didn't go to work that day. Neither did Mike. Later, I found out they'd both been suspended pending an internal review. Breach of conduct, they called it. Romantic relationships between team leads and subordinates were strictly forbidden. And just like that, her perfect little double life crumbled overnight. She tried calling again that evening. I let it ring. Then I got a message from her mother. She's devastated. She says you humiliated her. Can you please come talk to her? I stared at the message for a long time. Humiliated her. That's what she thought this was about. No. She wasn't humiliated. She was exposed. There's a difference. 3 days later, she came to the house. Her eyes were swollen, her face pale, her voice cracked when she spoke. I wanted to explain, she whispered. I leaned against the kitchen counter, arms folded. Explain what? How I was just an obstacle between you and your coworker. Tears filled her eyes. It wasn't like that. Then what was it like? I shot back. Because from where I'm standing, it looked exactly like cheating. She covered her face with her hands. It started after that big fight we had months ago. I felt lonely. You were always busy, distant. Stop. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't need to. Don't you dare blame this on me. She looked at me then, really looked, and I saw something in her eyes, shame. But also fear. Not of losing me, but of losing her comfort. She dropped to her knees, grabbed my hand. I'll do anything to fix this. Please, I love you. I pulled my hand away. You loved what I gave you, the house, the name, the life. But me? You threw me away the second someone else gave you attention. Her lips trembled. I'll quit my job. I'll block him. You'll do nothing, I interrupted. Because this marriage? It's done. Her breath caught. You can't mean that. I smiled, a cold, tired smile. I already filed the papers. By the end of the week, the company officially terminated both her and Mike. Apparently, after my little presentation, they received complaints from others who'd suspected favoritism, biased promotions, and after-hours meetings that weren't exactly professional. Her reputation was shattered. His was finished. They didn't just lose their jobs, they lost credibility, respect, status. One photo, one video, one USB drive, and everything they'd built fell apart. Funny, isn't it? All it took was the same device she used to hide her lies. A week later, she sent me one last message. I deserve this. But you destroyed me. I hope you're happy. I didn't reply. Instead, I posted something on my social media, one sentence that went viral overnight. Cheating doesn't just break hearts, it builds stronger men. People flooded the comments. Some called me ruthless. Others called me brave. I didn't care what they thought. I hadn't posted it for them. I posted it for her. So she'd know I wasn't broken. I was reborn. Weeks passed. Divorce in process. Her belongings gone. I started running again, something I hadn't done since our wedding. I felt lighter, faster. My body moved with a purpose again. One morning, I stopped by the local cafe, the same one from the photos. Funny how life loops back around. The barista smiled. Haven't seen you in a while. Been busy rebuilding, I said with a grin. That's when I noticed a woman at the corner table watching me. She smiled, not flirtatious, just warm. Familiar. We started talking. Turns out, she'd been there that night too, saw the entire thing unfold. She said, you didn't just stand up for yourself. You stood up for everyone who's ever been lied to. Her words hit me harder than I expected. That was the first day in months I felt something other than anger. But fate wasn't done with her yet. 2 months later, I got a call from a mutual friend. She tried reaching out to Mike again, desperate, broken. But he'd moved on. Quickly. Found someone new, younger, and made sure everyone knew it. She was living alone now, barely holding a job. Rumor had it she'd been drinking a lot, showing up late to interviews, crying in parking lots. I wish I could say I felt sorry for her. But I didn't. She'd made her choices. Now she was living with the consequences. About 3 months after the fallout, I got an email from her lawyer. Apparently, she wanted to settle quietly. She was offering to give up most of the assets just to end things peacefully. I agreed, on one condition. That she signs a statement acknowledging the affair, in writing. Not for court. For closure. When she saw it, she hesitated. Then she signed. That piece of paper wasn't just a legal form, it was my final victory. I didn't keep it out of spite. I kept it as a reminder, you can survive betrayal, and still come out stronger. A year later, life looked completely different. New job. New apartment. New peace. The woman from the cafe. We'd become close. Slow, genuine, honest. The kind of connection built not from excitement, but from truth. One evening, she asked me, do you ever miss her? I thought for a long time before answering. No, I said finally. I miss who I thought she was. But fate has a cruel sense of timing. Months later, I ran into her again, my ex-wife, at a grocery store of all places. She looked older. Not just physically, her eyes carried years of regret. She froze when she saw me. I heard you're doing well, she said quietly. I am, I replied. You. She looked down. Trying. I nodded, started to walk away. But she called out, do you ever think we could have fixed it? I stopped. Turned. Met her eyes. Maybe, I said. If you'd answered the phone that day. Then I walked away. Some betrayals don't end in heartbreak, they end in evolution. That day I sent the text, stay with him, don't come home. I didn't realize I wasn't ending my marriage. I was beginning my freedom. People say revenge doesn't heal you. Maybe that's true. But exposing the truth. That heals something deeper. It shows the world, and yourself, that you're not the victim. You're the storm that ended the lie. A few weeks ago, I got another message. Unknown number. I'm sorry for everything. No name. No context. But I knew who it was. I didn't reply. Instead, I set my phone down, looked out at the sunset from my balcony, and whispered to myself. You should have answered that call. Then I turned off my phone, and never looked back.